Hello everyone, my name is Yoon, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to play 13. Now the basics of 13 is 4 players max and 13 cards per person. Now this is the order of the suits: spades, clovers, diamonds, and hearts. So spades are the lowest and the hearts are the highest. And 3 is the single most weakest card in the game. On the other hand, 2s are the single most powerful card in the game. Now, when you are playing with 3 other individuals, 3 of spades will always start the game because it is the lowest card in the game. Now, if you're playing with 1 or 2 other individuals and no one has the 3 of spades, the next lowest card will start the game. Now, when a game starts, each round is called a round. So, if a player begins by playing a single 3, that's the round of singles. If a player decides to play doubles, that's the round of doubles, and I will explain that later. So when a player plays a single, double, triple, or quadruple, it can only be countered by something that's a higher in suit or higher in number. Now, likewise, if a player plays a double, it can only be countered by a higher suit. So, if a player plays a double like this with a spade and a diamond, if a player plays a heart as a double, being the highest suit, that will counter this. Now, a player can also decide to play straights. A straight consists of 3 cards minimum, up to 13 cards. 3 cards minimum, and like the rule for doubles, it can only be countered by a higher double that possesses a higher suit or higher top number. A 3-card straight can only be countered by a 3-card straight. So a 4-card straight can only be countered by a 4-card straight higher in number or higher in suit. Now, going back to the rule of passing. Going back to the rule of playing the rounds. If you are playing with 4 other individuals, let's say the 3 is you. You play a single, your opponent plays a single, your next opponent plays the highest single, this opponent plays a single, and I decide to play the highest, most single powerful card in the game, and your opponents cannot beat your single. That round has ended. Because your opponents cannot beat this, so they pass their turn, it comes back to you and you can decide a new round. You can either decide to play a round of singles again by playing a single, or you can choose to play a round of doubles, triples, quadruples, or you can play a round of straights. It's whatever you want to decide as long as you control the beginning of that round. Now, the rule for passing is, going back to the example, I'll play a 2, and if this opponent cannot counter my 2, he or she passes their turn, passes their turn, passes their turn, comes back to me, and I start a new round, and this opponent passes their turn, this opponent passes their turn, this opponent plays, a single card, and then I also play a single card. Let's say for this scenario, a higher king. And it's back to this opponent's turn, and this opponent now decides to play a card, and they play, they are able to pass one single turn, but not for that whole round. So they can pass one turn, but when it comes back to them, they are able to play. Same goes for the all other players. Now, to counter a2, there are several different ways. Let's say your opponent played a single 2 of spades. You are able to counter the 2 with the higher suit, as we discussed. Now, in this situation, it's the 2 of hearts. It's the highest, most single powerful card in the game. What can counter it? The first thing that can counter is what's called a cut-up. A cut-up is a paired straight. So a straight consists of 3 minimum cards, but a paired straight will give you a cut-up. Now, another thing that can cut up a 2 is called a bomb, which is a quadruple. Now, a quadruple can counter 2 2s, but it cannot counter more than 3 2s. Same goes for the cut-ups. A 3-paired cut-up can only counter a single 2. A 4-paired cut-up can counter 2 2s. A 5-paired cut-up can counter 3 2s. However, a bomb cannot counter a cut-up, and a cut-up cannot counter a bomb. Now, the way you counter a cut-up itself is by a higher cut-up in number. The way you counter a bomb is by a bomb in higher number. Now, the rule for the cut-up and bombs are this. You cannot end in a cut-up or a bomb. So if the last card in your hand, the 4 cards in your hand you possess is a quadruple, and a player plays a 2, you cannot end with a bomb. And you cannot also end with a cut-up. But let's say you played the 2 and you possess a cut-up. You play a 2, everyone else passes. You are able to end in a paired straight. As long as you are not countering a 2, it's not a cut-up. It's just a paired straight. Same goes for the quadruples. As long as you are not bombing a 2, you are able to end in a quadruple. So those are the rules for countering a 2. There are several differences between the American Style 13, which is what I'm teaching you, and Tianlen. In American Style 13, you cannot end in a 2, whereas in Tianlen, you are able to. And also in American Style 13, you are not able to put 2s in a straight. So a person cannot have a straight that has a 2 in it. So a person cannot do this as a straight. that is forbidden. Because if a player ends in a straight, going back to the rules, if a player ends with this, if the last 3 cards are this, is the player ending with a 2 or is the player ending with the straight? That's where the confusion comes from. So having a 2 in a straight or anything like that is forbidden. Now, there are several ways you can automatically win. Just like there are several ways you can automatically lose. For example, ending in a 2 being your last card. There are ways you can automatically win. Now, the first way is what's called a dragon. Dragon is a straight from 3 to ace with a single card. This is called a dragon and it's an automatic win. The reason being it's extremely rare with a single card. Now, the next way you can automatically win is to possess all 4 2s. That will earn you an automatic win just because of the rarity and just because it's so powerful to have all 4 2s in your hand. And the next way to automatically win is going back to the twin dragons. Going back to the dragon. This automatic win is called a twin dragon, which is a 5-paired straight. Something that can counter all the 3 2s. So the main reason why this twin dragon is an automatic win is because as soon as someone plays a 2, you can automatically win. Because no one will be able to counter a 5-paired straight. Now, the last way you can automatically win is from what's called a nuke. Now, nuke, getting my cards together, consists of 3 quadruples. 3 quadruples. And this will earn you an automatic win because no one else will be able to beat this. However, it is possible, but it is extremely rare to have 3 quadruples, so this will earn you an automatic win. Now the last way, let me correct myself, the last way to earn yourself an automatic win is to have all your cards in the same suit. So from 3 to 2, all suits will earn you an automatic win. Basic strategies and advanced strategies to win. Now, I'm going to assume that you are watching this video because you are playing for money, gambling, okay? So, basic strategies. Number 1, study your opponents. Know how they play. Before you play the game for money, know how the advanced experienced players play. Know how the people who are just beginning play. Because they have different playing styles, the people who are more advanced have, ideas, they have experience, they know when to play what cards, and all that kind of stuff. Next thing is organize and plan. When you first look at your cards, know what you want to do. Organize it accordingly. So what do I mean by that? When you have low doubles, always back it up with higher doubles. When you have low straights, back it up with higher straights, okay? And know when to take risks. This is a personal tip from me. When you have low cards, when you have extremely low doubles, low straights, and you have 2s in your possession, in the beginning of the game, let's say you're playing with 3 other individuals, if you play strong, let's say a 3, a person just played a 4, it's just the beginning, someone played a 3, someone else played a 4, it's your turn, and you play a 2. Most of the time, other people will pass because they want to end strong, okay? So they don't want to play their best cards in the beginning. They want to save up their best cards for last. So when you play a strong card in the beginning, everyone will pass because they're going to see what you are going to do. They want to let you make the move first. So when you have extremely low doubles or straights, it's the best chance is to get rid of it extremely early. Alright, and advanced strategies to win. Know your opponent's arrangements. What do I mean by that? I'm going to show you. So let's say this is a standard deck and you're playing one-on-one and your opponents organize their cards, right? So when they first pick up their cards, this is, I got this down to science, okay? When their opponents pick up their cards, they're gonna pick it up with their right-handed because most people are right-handed, and they're going to organize using their left hand. They're gonna get their best cards on their left and put the weak cards, singles, to the right. So when they hold their deck, they're gonna hold it with their right hand, and you're gonna be facing your opponent like so. So let's say you're playing a round of singles. Your opponent picks up a card from right here, and it's a 2. So the next card, you have a great chance, it's going to be a 2 or anything higher, a higher suit 2. Anything before this will be lower than a 2. So you know already your opponent has a 5 cards that are lower than a 2. Okay, so that is what I mean by knowing your opponent's arrangements. And next advanced strategy is bluffing. Know when to bluff. How do you bluff in 13? Well, it's more of being cocky and confident than bluffing. But just saying like I had the 2 of hearts, and you actually have the 2 of hearts, or I have a cut up, and you bluff that you have a cut up or you don't have a cut up, something like that. Getting into your opponent's head frightening your opponent will help you win the game. Okay. One of the advanced strategies that I forgot to mention is know what's been played. It's very important. It will serve you extremely well if you know what's been played for that round. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're playing with a couple of individuals and 3 kings have been played, right? And you possess a straight with ace of spades. Ace of spades, the lowest ace. So you have a very good chance to be encountered. However, if 3 kings haven't played, because if someone played a double and a single in the previous rounds, you have the highest straight in possession, and you can use that to your leverage. Okay, so that's another advanced strategy to win. Foul play wins. If you're playing your opponents for money, foul plays, if you're serious about winning a lot of money, foul plays must be done. Okay, so I'll give you a scenario. You need a 10 to make a straight. 10 is in the other side of the table. So what you do is you search how many 2s have been played, or how many kings have been played. I want to check my straights. Okay, so what you do, you have your 10 in sight, get your cards, look at your opponents, make sure no one's looking, and you do a deceive pickup. Number 1 is deceive pickup. Now you have your straight. Okay, and then you win. Next thing is deceive play. So I'll set it up for you. You're playing with your friends and they're playing straights, right? And you have an extra card. So someone plays 5, 6, 7. You play 10, Jack, Queen. Your opponent plays, you know, Ace, King, Queen. But did you see that? This is called deceive play. The 4 hides behind a higher card. You can do this with a double, or you can do it with anything with a lot of numbers or even minimum numbers like this. As long as you have the card behind when you are playing, they will not know because all they see is this. Okay? As long as it doesn't splat out like this, you know, that's what you want to try to avoid. You will always be fine. You know, when does this situation ever come in handy, you might ask? Well, let's say it's like this. You know, so you're playing a round of, you know, it's a late round in the game. They're playing, you know, straights right now. So you play a straight and your opponents counter you with a higher straight and they play singles, right? Let's say it's a jack. Now, you know, they're not, all the low cards have been, they got rid of all their low cards early in the game. Now you're stuck with this. But if you have gotten rid of it early, you just play an ace and you win. Okay? So let's say you played the ace and you still have the 4 because you didn't want to be a foul player. Now you lose. Guaranteed. Unless, you know, you get a free ride from the next person. Okay. So the last thing that I'm going to be teaching you in foul play is organization, which I like to call stacker. So let's say you're playing one-on-one, right? You know there's a 2 of hearts on the top, and you shuffle. And as you're shuffling, you look at the bottom of the card, bottom of the deck, and you see you have a 2 in sight. So it's under 5 and 6. And you bring it up. And as you're bringing it up, when you're shuffling, stretch out the cards. So this is 6, this is 5, and this is 2. So you don't want to... So let's say you're doing this, right? It's 5 cards. You give yourself 1 first. You give your opponent the next card. You give the 2 to yourself. And you give your opponent a 5. And I give myself a 6. Okay, that's how this stacker works. As long as you are aware of where the cards are in your deck. So let's say, you know, you played out a game and, you know, 2's been played and all that kind of stuff. And where's the 2 of hearts? Is it this one? Let's say, you know, let's say this is 2 of hearts for this example, okay? And you put it next to an ace, and then you're playing, and your goal objective is to get the 2 of hearts, right? And then when you shuffle, when you play it out, you know, this side of the deck, the top side of the deck, has a 2 of hearts somewhere. You know, anywhere, somewhere, it has a 2 of hearts. And you look at it, and you have the 2 of hearts. If you don't have the 2 of hearts, you definitely know your opponent has the 2 of hearts, okay? So, another thing, let's say you have a good general idea of where the 2 of hearts is located. So, we're gonna say, you know, for this example, say you generally know it's right here, right? When you pick up the cards, when you're putting it on top, you know it's going to be right around that area. And you're shuffling, and you want the 2 of hearts. So what you're going to do is you're going to deal 5 by 5, right? And then you're going to pick up your cards, and then boom, there's a 2 of hearts. Because you dealt 5 by 5, right? You didn't deal 1 by 1, and hopefully it's there. You know, you're going to take the chance that maybe you don't have it, and you look, you don't have the 2 of hearts, but you have the 2 of diamonds. Alright, that's cool. but it's still lower than a 2 of hearts. Okay, so that's the 3 deceiving play that I can teach you that if you master, you will always be able to win. This is a video of example of how to play 13, okay? So, I'm gonna play 2 games. Just shuffle my cards. Now, when you are playing a person, offer them first. Pick your card, pick your hand first. You don't want to always have, you know, the deck always facing you. You don't want to pick that up, okay? Because let's say you won 10 games in a row, they're gonna think you're cheating, okay? Offer them, you know, pick the deck first, and you let them pick their deck first, and I'll show you how I organize my hand. So when I first organize my hand, I open it up. I immediately spot my top cards, okay? So I get my top cards to my left. Q, Jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I didn't stack my hand, I swear, guys. And you got 2 doubles and 1 single, okay? So you're gonna start with 2 doubles, and I already know I'm going to win. Why? Because I'm gonna play 2 doubles, and my opponent most likely cannot beat 2 2s. And let's say they did beat 2 2s, right? I still have my single highest, most powerful 2 in the whole game. And I can just play my straight and win, okay? But in this situation, I'm gonna already plan my game ahead of time. So I'm gonna play my 2 2s, and I'm gonna play my 4. You know, okay? I don't wanna play my 2. Let's say they countered my 2. Or I played my straight and they countered my straight. Now I'm stuck with this, I lost, okay? So what I'm going to do is, you know, I can even play my straight and then play my 2 and then possibly end with a 4, okay? But I'm going to take the safest route possible, play a 4, play a 2, and win. Because even if they do beat my 2, right, they're going to have some form of straight, whether it be 3 cards, 4 cards, okay, or even 5. They're going to have some form of straight, unless they are pros and they realize that you have a straight, and they will mainly focus on playing doubles and beat you, okay? So instantly, this is my strategy to win. So I play my double 3s. Let's look at my opponent's hand. So 3 3, 4 4, 5 6, King King, Q Jack, 10, 8 8. So let's say I'm this person. I'm gonna play as such. So I'm gonna play my double 3s, and in my mind I'm gonna think this player is going to play maybe 5s or 6s. So I'm gonna keep this as a straight, and I'm gonna back it up with a higher straight. So this is around the doubles, so they're gonna play most likely 6s or 7s. So I'm gonna play my 8s, and then my kings, and then hopefully they can't beat my kings. So I'm gonna play 4 5 6, Q Jack 10, and then play my 4, because that's the best possible scenario for me right now. So going back to this, I play my double 2s. This person is frightened. They instantly know he lost, okay? Why? Because if someone's playing extremely strong in the beginning, they know they have either a massive straight or they have extremely good cards. So then I play my 4, come back here, play the 4, play the 2, cannot beat it, win the game. And if you're playing, let's say, $1 per card, you win $10 right there. Now, next example. So to shuffle like a bridge like this, for those who don't know how to do it, get your cards, put your middle finger on the bottom, put thumb on the top, pointing finger pushing the middle, and then slowly slide your thumb over, and you're going to do that for both sides. And then from here, get it back to the top, arc it, put your fingers in the middle, arc it, hold it with one side, and then let go, and it's like that. And to shuffle like this, get the bottom, over, hold some top, over, hold some top, over. So, like that. Oops. So get the bottom, hold, use your hand, use your fingers to hold some on the top, hold some on the top, hold some on the top, and like that. Let them choose. They choose this, I'll choose this, the second deck. I always prefer the first deck for some reason, but you know, that's my preference. So I lay out my cards. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to use this 7 because I don't want to use my single higher suit 7. So I'm going to use that 7. But let's say it's going to be in a big straight, right? 5 card straight. It's not going to be likely that my opponent's going to have a 5 card straight, exactly the same thing as me with a higher 7. Okay, but let's say if you're playing with 3 other people, that is likely the chance. So then you can swap out for a higher 7, because later in the game, most likely they're going to be a round of singles where people get rid of their single cards like 4s and 5s, and then you can play your 7s. Okay, but in this example, it's a 1 versus 1, so I'm going to keep my higher suit to myself. King, Ace, King, 2, Jack, 2, Jack, 9, 7. So it's a 4 card straight, and this is a 4 card straight. So I'm going to back up my 4 card straight with a higher 4 card straight. And then, so they cannot beat an Ace of Hearts with straight, because that's the highest straight possible. So if my opponent doesn't have a 3, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play that. And then I don't want to play my double 7s, okay? Because if I do and my opponent has a lot of doubles, right? They're going to beat a higher double and I can't beat it, so I'm going to pass. So my opponent knows, well, most likely they won't if I'm playing with a beginner, but if you're playing with an extremely experienced person like myself, I have 3 cards, right? So that's either going to be a 3 card straight, or since I'm passing on the doubles, this will be 3 single cards, with the card most on the left being a 2. Okay. So if I play double 7s, I basically give the control away to my opponent. Say, hey, I don't have any more doubles. But if you have a lot of doubles and straights, you have a better chance of winning. Okay, so you don't want to do that. And even if you do, let's say you have a 3 card straight, let's say you do this and you play a 2 and you have 3 singles, they're gonna start to question why did if they really do have a straight, why didn't they just play it like in the beginning, right? So if you just play a double, you give that control away if you're not backing up with a higher double. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a 9 and then a 2 and then double 7s, and then hopefully they don't have that. Or, you know, if they play a 10, I play my Jack and then my 2, and then risk the winning. So that's going to be my strategy coming into this round, coming into this game. So hopefully my opponent does not have a 3. But unfortunately he has a lower 3. So 3, 5, 5, Jack, 10, 9, 9, 8, 8, 6, 6, ace, ace. So I have in this deck a lot of singles, okay? 3 singles I mean, and a lot of doubles. And I'm not a lot of high doubles, so I'm gonna have to cross my fingers on this one that my opponent plays doubles, because I need to get rid of my doubles, okay? So I'm gonna play my 3. Can you see that? Oh, yeah. Okay. Play the 3. Okay. So I'm going to play my 7 this time. Play the 7. Change up my strategy, because my plan is right now I'm gonna play my 2, and then you know what? I'll let you guys just watch, and then I'll explain. Play the 7. My opponent is going to play. Now my opponent's gonna have to think. Do I want, you know, play a 4-card straight and hope that my opponent plays, you know, some kind of double? Because if my opponent plays some kind of double and I play my double aces, the only thing that double aces can be countered is double 2s, and to have double 2s, it's rare, okay? When it's a 1v1 situation, for my opponent to have double 2s, it's rare. So do I risk that? In this situation, what do you do? Okay, you can either, whatever makes sense to you. Let's say you know you're going to lose. The most logical thing to do in this situation is you're gonna keep your double aces. Why? Because you want to play your double 6s. But if you are trying to win, if you're gonna risk it, you're gonna bet your opponent does not have any doubles, then you keep your aces, okay? And wait until that chance comes. Play a single 8. My opponent plays a 9. I play a 9. Play the jack. My opponent, you know, in this situation, gonna play his jack. I play my 2. Then my highest straight. You don't want to play this. You don't want to play that. You don't want to play your 5-card straight. Why? Number 1, you don't have a 5-card straight. Number 2, if you play a 5-card straight and let's say your opponent has a massive 5-card straight, they're gonna play it and they just got rid of $5. But in this, ace is the highest, ace of hearts is the highest straight possible. Nothing can counter this. So if you play this first, this prevents your opponent from getting rid of $5 of your winning. And you win, like that. Okay, so that's 2 examples of how to play 13 and my thought process when it comes to playing 13. Thank you so much guys for watching. Please subscribe, leave any comments, questions, recommendations. If you want to see more examples, leave a comment down below, like the video. Thank you.